So what are the top benefits of the carnivore diet? Hi, I'm Tom, and this is my carnivore life. So obviously the first thing that comes to mind when people talk about the carnivore diet is the weight loss. It's not uncommon for someone to lose 100 pounds or more in a year or less. It just depends on how strict you are and how much weight you need to lose. It comes off real easy, comes off fairly quickly. I've done carnivore twice. The second time I lost almost 50 pounds in about 6 or 7 months. So it came off pretty quickly, but I was pretty strict with what I ate. So if you're looking for weight loss, this is obviously one of the better ways to get there. The reason it works so well is you're not eating seed oils, you're not consuming sugar, and you're not eating grains. And those are the three things that contribute to weight gain. Obviously, if you can keep your insulin levels low, then you reduce or eliminate insulin resistance, which then allows your body to burn fat, and that's what allows you to lose weight. The second benefit is mental focus, getting rid of the brain fog. And until you experience it, you don't really quite understand what people are talking about. But you wake up in the morning and everything's clear. You can think clearly, your mind is sharp, you remember things better. It's just a better state of mental clarity. And I remember the first time I felt it, was like, wow, I'm like really alert and really hyper focused. It was fantastic. The other benefit to the carnivore diet is better digestion, because you're not consuming the sugars, carbs, and seed oils. That allows your microbiome to shift back to what it should be, which allows you to digest meat properly and get as much of the nutrients out of it as you can. People who experience IBS or Crohn's find relief with the carnivore diet for obvious reasons. So if you're experiencing those types of things, the carnivore diet can help you reduce or eliminate those flare-ups that you get. Another benefit of the carnivore diet is joint pain relief. Now, I experienced this one myself because I have osteoarthritis. And when I was first diagnosed, my hand was so bad I couldn't hold my cell phone. And now I have some days where I have no pain, some days minimal, but I never have anything near what it was when I couldn't hold my cell phone. It was so painful. So over time, it's going to heal more and more. I'm only 9 months into this, and the benefit I'm seeing is just fantastic. So if you have rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis or any of those conditions that affect your joints, you're going to find relief with the carnivore diet, because by eating this way, you're eliminating the inflammation, and that's what causes most of this. Now, another benefit to the carnivore diet, which I kind of touched on a little bit with the mental clarity, and that's better sleep. You're going to fall asleep faster. You're going to sleep a deeper sleep, because you're not hyped up on carbs and sugar and the chemicals that come with all that junk food and the Western diet. So you have a better sleep. So if you're the type of person that tosses and turns, or you can't sleep through the night, you may find relief with this, because it really does help. I sleep better than I did when I was eating the standard American diet. My wife jokes that I hit my head on the pillow and 30 seconds later I'm out. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know I fall asleep quick, I sleep well, I wake up refreshed. It's fantastic. So if you have sleep issues, you might want to check out the carnivore diet. Another benefit to the carnivore diet is it's fairly simple. You just eat animal products. There's no overthinking it. Now, it can get boring at times, and that's where looking at what other people eat, some of the different recipes they've come up with, but I caution you to be careful with some of these, especially if you're doing keto, because a lot of the desserts that these people come up with in the long run are not any better than their counterparts. Now, granted, you're not going to have all of the artificial stuff in there and the tons of sugar, but any dessert's going to have some sort of carb in it. and you look at it and go, oh, it's only 2 carbs. And then you gorge yourself. And so at the end of the day, you've consumed as many carbs with that as you would have with a normal serving of traditional desserts. So I caution you to be careful about that. I see a lot of posts about brownies and bread and pies and cakes. I just don't believe that that's a good idea, especially if you're the type of person that binge eats, because that's going to remind you of whatever dessert that you like and you're going to binge on. And then it's no better than eating the real thing. So caution you on that one. Another benefit to the carnivore diet is increased energy. I remember the first day that I experienced this, I was like, holy crap, I could not sit still. I was a jumping bean, just going from one thing to the next, mowing the lawn, trimming the lawn. I cut up and cubed tallow and lard so I could render it. And I mean, it was just nonstop all day long, from about 5 o'clock in the morning till about 6 o'clock at night. I couldn't sit still. And so your energy levels are fantastic. And of course, that's going to vary from person to person as to what your energy levels are going to be. But you'll definitely get to a point where all of a sudden, just one day, you'll be like, whew, man, I need to go do something. And that's awesome when you get that. There's also some indications that eating the carnivore diet can increase testosterone and can kind of help balance out your hormones, which makes sense because there's a lot of hormones that tie into insulin that either trigger insulin or insulin triggers. And so when you keep that insulin level low, then those hormones stay in check. And I know for me, my testosterone level has gone up. It's still not what it was in my 20s, but it's probably where it was in my late 30s, early 40s. So I'm almost 62, so I've knocked 20 years off of the decline in testosterone by eating this way in just 9 months. So you might want to look at that, especially if you have any of those sorts of issues. Then the last thing that I want to mention, and it's not really a top priority, but it's a pretty good one. So on a carnivore diet, a lot of people experience mood enhancement, if you will. So they don't feel depressed as often. They feel more upbeat. They've also noticed differences in children with autism and ADHD. Those improve tremendously, especially autism. It seems to respond very well to carnivore. We've known since the 1930s that you can treat epilepsy with the ketogenic diet. So there's no reason to believe that carnivore wouldn't be even better. And there's no reason to believe that based on the epilepsy treatments, that the carnivore diet doesn't help with neurological issues. And that can range from MS to Parkinson's to a number of other ailments that people experience. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it, but I've heard people's testimonies that have had these conditions and how they've improved. So if you're someone that has one of these or know someone who does, then you might want to suggest a carnivore diet to see if it can help them. The worst case is it doesn't do anything for them. But to me, if I had something like that, just like I had with my osteoarthritis, it was worth a shot. And I'd encourage anybody with these issues to really take a look at the carnivore diet to see if that can help you. So those are the top things that you can expect from the carnivore diet. Like I said, it's going to vary from person to person depending on what stage you're at with metabolic issues and your health and your weight. But most people experience most of them, if not all of them. So I hope you give the carnivore diet a try and see if it's something that can help you with the issues you're having. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like, give me a comment. Let me know if it's something that you've used as a tool to heal something or to treat something that you've been dealing with. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks, and have a great day.